Welcome back to Global Business Report. The Nigerian Stock Exchange is set to host the fourth edition of the NSE Market Data Workshop. The event is scheduled to hold on Wednesday with the theme of Partnerships, Products and the Customer. It is aimed to bring together investors, market data aggregators, exchanges and other capital market stakeholders to discuss market data products and partnership opportunities as well. And joining me in the studio for more on this is Olufemi Balogun, Head Market Services, Nigerian Stock Exchange. Olufemi, it's good to have you with us.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So I'm sure the viewers would like to know what influenced the choice of this year's theme.
Because in the capital market, you have several stakeholders.
Okay.
And without the stakeholders, nothing's going to happen.
Indeed.
And so there have to be a partnership between them. And that's the reason for this thing, that everybody needs to come together to be able to get the best out of this capital market. Right. So that's the reason for the partnership.
Interesting. Now, how is the exchange preparing to catch up with the pace of change as we're seeing in global markets as well?
I don't think we're catching up. I think we're already there. People have to understand that most people, even the stakeholders, that we can't look at ourselves and believe that we're deficient. And I don't think we are. I think that we're where we're supposed to be. I believe there's still more to do, definitely, because you have to grow. You have to develop yourself. Just like you have a kid that was born at a particular time, they grow. Mm-hmm. You don't stay stagnant. And we're not stagnant. We're not at all. We're growing at the pace that we're supposed to be growing. So we're not catching up. I don't really believe that we're catching up. So we're where we're supposed to be, but I know that there's more for us to do, and we're doing everything. And that's the reason for this workshop. One of the major purposes of this workshop, because I just joined the exchange, is because to be able to educate people about this massive information that we're sitting on. We can just sit on it and just leave it there, and that's been stagnant. So I don't think we're catching up. I think we're where we're supposed to be.
All right. Is this the first of this kind of workshop, or you've been having this over time?
This is the first one. Okay. So they've been having it over time, but this time around, we have a new twist to it.
Okay.
We're bringing the academic public into it now. Mm-hmm. We want to encourage research, because without that, innovations doesn't come into anything. Indeed. There are people that sit and be able to do, use theoretical stuff and relate it to practical.
Okay.
We're trying to bring them. There's an organization called MANOG, which is Mathematical Analysis and Optimization Group. They're attached to University of Lagos Department of Mathematics.
Okay.
And they did a conference on optimization in financial risk. That is portfolio theory. Mm-hmm. When you take a portfolio, just as everybody, that, we have a lot of pensions and all of them now, and all they have is just portfolios. And when you take that portfolio, there's random variable. Each financial asset inside, it's a random variable.
Okay.
So now when you take these researchers and you give them information for them to be able to crunch it for you, and they can now tell you why the market is going down, what you need to do, what are your response to it, what will move the market, and what actually influenced the market.
So in other words, you can make real-time predictions on those.
I would say real time, yes. Let's say near real time.
To a large extent. All right.
Let's say near real time. It's real time because it's actually, most of the data is real time.
All right.
There's historical data.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? If you want to say, for example, you want to find out the volatility for tomorrow or 2 days from now, you have to use historical data to do that. So that is there. And so I would say it's near real time. We have an API that we developed where people plug into, and they get, if on your screen, if you guys don't have it now, they have it on the website, where you see all those prices. Those are based on our API. So we try to get those things out there to the general public, for them to, apart from the financial guys, the average guys that get up in the morning and go to work and all the kind of stuff, people like yourself, you have pensions and you have all those kind of stuff, to say, okay, what is NSE 30 doing now? Is it going down? Is it going up? And you'll be able to have a sense of how your portfolio is doing. And you can pick up the phone and talk to your financial analyst or something and have a productive conversation. We at NSE, we're trying to gear the public towards that, because we believe that once we do that effectively through workshops like this, then people can ask the right questions.
Yeah, it's always good when it's comforting to know that something like that is in place. There has to be a synergy between the stakeholders and, of course,
Definitely.
the NSE custodians as well. Now, talking about the importance of partnership with technology companies, of which you just highlighted a little bit about it, the benefits of having this sort of workshop.
The technology is very essential. Everybody knows that. Not just your smartphones and you texting and all the kind of stuff. This data gets stored somewhere.
All right.
This data get access. So without technology, so we have, and I tell you a tiny story. We wanted to go to one of our listing members to go and pay them a visit. I think they have this relationship that we just don't sit and let people just, we have this ongoing relationship with all the stakeholders in the capital market.
All right.
So one of my colleagues, Anita, said, we need to go along with the other team. I said, okay, I'm open to it. And I said, what company is that? She said, CNI Listen. I said, okay. I said, well, I don't know CNI Listen. I said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their website.
Okay.
So I went to their website. I typed in cnilisten.com, NG, and all the kind of stuff. And I looked at it, and I went straight to About Us and look at the management team. You'll get the end of the story pretty soon. I know you're wondering, what does this got to do with market data? You'll see it now. So I looked at the profile of the CEO, the head of treasury, the head of finance, and all the kind of stuff. I said, okay, all right. I said, they have treasury. I said, if they have treasury, I said, that means they're doing something with financial market data.
Indeed.
I said, so they have finance as well. I said, so they have to price some things. I said, so what we'll have to do is, okay, I said, we can go. I said, you can go.
All right.
Tell them about our workshop, but now invite he said, who should I invite out of all these guys? I said, well, invite the head of treasury. He said, why? I said, because I just believe that the head of treasury will be dealing with these numbers directly. She now said, what about the CEO? I said, well, you see, CNI Listen CEO is top here. I said, he needs some information as well, too.
Yeah.
So you can see that from that, what I've done is I've used the first level of information, which is what's on their website. Right. I process it, summarize it in my head, that's my brain. Then after summarize, I came up with a conclusion.
Indeed.
That is what a CFA or FRM, what they do with financial data. They take this raw data that you see, they smooth it. Technically, that's what they use. The quantitative guys basically use scientific theory to smooth it. That is, to remove the noise from it. Now, pass that information to the CFA or the FRM guy, to the traders as well, and say, make a buy towards this side, make a buy, sell towards this side. So there's noise in it. So you can see, and that is in technology, is what in machine learning, what we call deep learning. It's several layers. So what we're trying to do is, from now on, is to bring the academic people back into it. They understood deep learning. They understood machine learning.
Indeed.
Because the reason why of all of that, I'm saying all of this is because I'm still a quantitative developer.
All right.
So I understood the essence of data. That's why I hold this dear to my heart, because I know that, and I tell another story is when I went to University of Lagos, when I met with one of their financial mathematics professor there, she was excited. Why? Because she now said, I now have a way to get real data. So it's it's like the oil of the capital market. It's very essential. There's nothing that you can do as a trader, as a portfolio manager, as a derivatives trader, options and futures traders. There's nothing you can do without processing this data.
So you make informed decisions.
Exactly.
As well. Very good. Now, let's take a look at this. How is the exchange educating investors on how to use available data? You've just mentioned a little bit about, but let's give us a whole gamut.
Well, what we don't have to get, as an exchange, as we are, we're not there to advise people.
Okay.
So all we do is we take the data as it is. We let people know that you can access the data. The API is there to give it to you. The workshop, there'll be new products that we have. A typical example that I can give to you is we have this product that we call the IR data pack.
All right.
Investors Relations Data Park. And we use from our API, which is raw data, we summarize the data for that particular listing company.
All right.
So now investors can easily go to their website. Anybody listed on, I think we have MTN now and another one, I think CNI Listen.
All right.
We have CNI Listen now. I think when they comes on, because I think they just signed a couple of days ago, you can easily go to their website, go to their IR section and see how they're doing on the exchange. Then you can now say, okay, I want to invest in there or whatever it is. So those are the byproduct.
Okay.
And there are more analytics that comes out of it as well too. And that is another product entirely that comes out of this raw data. So there's so much information inside that data itself. And we're trying to educate the public that you have a lot of information out of it. We are going to make it accessible to you, whichever way that you want it. Then with the processing and all the kind of stuff, we'll leave that to you for the decision. So now we also have, going back to technology, we also have, what's his name? HP.
All right.
HP, that's the hardware.
Okay.
It's very, very essential for you to be able to store that data. So now they came on board almost immediately when I spoke to them. We have, when you talk about technology as well, we have Infoware. Infoware is a software company, I believe, and I spoke with, those are our partners. Infoware is our partners, actually, because they interact with the capital market, and they basically know that market data is very, very essential. So they partner with us, and the whole essence of this is just to educate the stakeholders that there's more you can get out of it, and we at the exchange, we're willing and we're ready to partner with you, to educate you, but we cannot make decisions for you, but we'll give you necessary tools for you to be able to get there at a very, not too expensive.
Minimum.
Minimum, Not necessarily we charging you. That's not what I'm saying. You see, technology is, I was speaking with someone earlier, technology in sub-Sahara is very expensive. It is. And why is it so? It is, if it's developed abroad and bringing in the currency. So, but locally, if we can leverage away with the talent that we have at the exchange, we'll be able to make the price a little bit cheaper for the stakeholders.
Very good. And on that note, Olufemi Balogun, Head Market Services, NSE, a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
Very educated what you just told us.
Yes, and the event is on September 11th.
All right.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.